2 tickets on a train to Mumbai. Well, I'm at the airport today trying to catch a flight. I've just made it through security and I'm walking toward my gate. The airport is busy, people are rushing in every direction, and some of them look like they're already late. Me? I'm completely relaxed. You see, I still have more than an hour and a half before boarding even begins. Now, you might be wondering, what am I doing at the airport so early? It goes back to an incident when I was about 16 years old and my younger brother was only 10. My father had passed away the previous year, and that probably made me feel the responsibility of looking after my younger brother even more strongly. We had spent our summer vacation with relatives in Mathura and were returning home to Mumbai. In those days, that was not a small journey. It meant spending almost an entire day, 20 to 24 hours, on a train. And getting a reserved ticket during the summer vacation season was an achievement in itself. Today, if you miss a train, you pull out your phone and immediately start looking at alternatives. You check another train, a bus, a flight, perhaps even book a hotel for the night. There were no smartphones then, no internet, no apps showing you hundreds of alternatives. And during the peak summer season in India, trains were packed. Reserved berths could be booked weeks in advance. You couldn't simply walk up to the counter and say, "We missed this train. Give us 2 seats on the next one." The next train might have seats, or it might not. Our tickets were on a train called the Holiday Special, one of the additional trains the railways ran during the holiday rush. It was supposed to arrive in Mathura around midnight. My uncle and brother-in-law accompanied us to the station. We reached with our luggage, ready for the long journey to Mumbai, and then we learned that the train was late. Not half an hour late, not even 2 hours. 7 or 8 hours late. The monsoon had begun, and heavy rains were disrupting trains across the railway network. We spoke to the station authorities and were told that instead of arriving around midnight, our train might not reach Mathura until approximately 7 in the morning. There was no point sitting on a railway platform all night. So we went home. Everyone relaxed again. The family sat together. We played cards. Eventually we went to sleep, knowing that we would have to wake up early and return to the station. The next morning, my brother and I got ready. The luggage was packed. Everything seemed under control. And then my uncle had an idea. "I'll quickly go to the Yamuna and have a bath." The river was only 10 or 15 minutes away. There seemed to be enough time, except there wasn't. By the time my uncle returned and we were finally ready to leave, someone checked on the train. It was coming. Soon. Suddenly, the relaxed morning disappeared. "Hurry! Hurry!" Bags were grabbed. Doors were locked. Instructions were shouted. We had 2 scooters. My uncle would take me on one, while my brother-in-law would take my 10-year-old brother on the other. We climbed on and raced toward Mathura station. What was normally a 20 or 25-minute journey suddenly felt endless. Every slow vehicle in front of us seemed to be deliberately blocking our way. A bicycle, a rickshaw, a bullock cart, traffic at an intersection. Come on, come on. I kept wondering how much time we had. 10 minutes? 5? Had the train already arrived? There was no phone in my pocket on which I could check its location. We simply didn't know. The scooters pushed through the morning traffic as quickly as they safely could. I sat behind my uncle, gripping the seat and watching Mathura rush past us. Finally, the railway station appeared. We had made it, or so I thought. We jumped off the scooters, grabbed our luggage, and hurried inside, and then we saw it. The Holiday Special. It was still standing at the platform. A tremendous wave of relief went through me. Thank God. After all that panic, we had made it. The train was right there. All we had to do was reach it, but our platform was on the other side. We had to cross the footbridge, so we ran up the stairs, across the bridge, down toward the platform. Around us was the familiar chaos of an Indian railway station. Vendors calling out to passengers, "Chai, chai!" People rushing with suitcases, porters carrying mountains of luggage, children crying, passengers shouting to relatives through open windows, a railway announcement crackling over the loudspeakers, half lost in the noise, and somewhere beneath all of it, the deep rumble of a diesel engine. But the train was still there. We were going to make it. We came down from the bridge. The train was only a short distance away now, just a little farther. And then the horn sounded. My heart sank. No, no, come on! We ran faster. For one hopeful moment, nothing happened. Maybe the train would remain there another minute. Maybe the horn was only a warning. Then the coaches gave a slight jerk. The train began to move. Slowly. Very slowly. There was still a chance. We ran alongside the platform, carrying our bags. Someone tried to get a passenger to pull the emergency chain. For a few seconds, the train was moving so slowly that I genuinely believed we would still get aboard. We're going to catch it. Then it gathered speed. Walking pace became jogging pace. Jogging pace became running pace. And suddenly the doors that had seemed only a few feet away began moving farther and farther from us. We stopped. There was nothing more we could do. I stood on that platform, breathing heavily, watching our train disappear down the tracks. We had missed it. By seconds. I was 15 or 16 years old. My brother was 10. Our journey home was almost 24 hours, and our reserved seats to Mumbai were disappearing into the distance. I felt sick. What were we supposed to do now? My brother-in-law went to speak to the station authorities. After some discussion, we received a piece of unexpected good news. Another train would be coming in roughly 2 hours. And not just any train, the Frontier Mail. It was actually a better train than the holiday special. There was only one problem. Our tickets might allow us to travel, but our reservations would not transfer to the Frontier Mail. And on a 24-hour journey, that was a very big problem. Without reserved seats, we might have nowhere to sit properly, let alone sleep. Still, at least we had a way of reaching Mumbai. When the Frontier Mail arrived, my brother-in-law spoke to the ticket checker, the TC. I didn't know exactly what was said between them. I believe some extra money changed hands. The TC finally told us that he could give us 2 seats. 2 seats. After everything that had happened that morning, it felt like a miracle. My brother and I boarded. We put down our luggage. We sat. The train began moving. Mathura disappeared behind us. And for the first time that morning, I could finally relax. We were on a train. We had seats. We were going home. It's over, I thought. Everything is okay now. For the next few hours, it was. Then, the original ticket checker finished his duty and got off the train. Another TC came aboard. Eventually, he entered our compartment. "Tickets, please." I handed him our tickets. He examined them. Then he looked at us. "These are not your seats." I explained what had happened. We missed the holiday special. The previous TC gave us these seats. He looked again. "No, these berths are already reserved." I didn't understand. But the other TC gave them to us. How could he give them to you? They belong to other passengers? My stomach tightened. We had another argument, or at least as much of an argument as a nervous 16-year-old could have with a railway official. I explained everything again. We had missed our train. We had been allowed onto this one. The other TC had given us these seats. What were we supposed to do? The new TC was firm, but thankfully he was not cruel. "I understand your situation," he told us. "I'm not asking you to get off the train. You can travel to Mumbai." That was a relief. Then came the rest of the sentence. "But you cannot keep these seats." The passengers who had actually reserved them were entitled to them. So once again, our relief disappeared. At least we would not be thrown off the train somewhere hundreds of kilometers from home. But we had almost an entire night ahead of us, and nowhere to sleep. During the day, we somehow managed. We adjusted. We sat wherever space was available. But as evening came, passengers began preparing their berths for the night. One by one, people stretched out to sleep. My brother and I had no berth. Eventually, I found some newspapers. I spread them out on the floor of the railway compartment. That became our bed. My 10-year-old brother and I lay down on those newspapers, surrounded by sleeping passengers, luggage, and the constant clatter of steel wheels beneath us. Clack, 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 clack. It had been an extraordinary day. A frantic scooter ride, a desperate run across Mathura station, missing our train by seconds, finding another train, getting seats, losing them again, and now sleeping on the floor. But at least we were moving toward home. Sometime the next morning, the train finally reached Mumbai. When I stepped onto the platform, the feeling was difficult to describe. We had made it. My brother was beside me. Our luggage was with us. We were safe. We contacted our family in Mathura and told them that we had reached Mumbai without any further trouble. Only then did the entire adventure finally feel over. More than 4 decades have passed since that journey, but one thing from that day has never left me. I hate being late for a train or a flight. If someone tells me, "Don't worry, we have plenty of time," somewhere inside me, I am still that 16-year-old boy running down a crowded platform in Mathura, carrying his luggage, hearing a train horn, and watching the coaches slowly begin to move. I learned something that morning. Sometimes being early costs you an hour. Being late can cost you a lot more, and I have never missed a train or flight since.